Hello and welcome back to Married After Midnight podcast with Tasha and Jake.
Hello.
Right,
Borrascas.
right, first, Borrasca.
Is it Borrasca?
Yeah, I realised, I was at it in the last video and I realised I was saying the word wrong the whole time. And I don't know where I got Borrascas from because it's never written like that, but...
Oh, you're dyslexic.
That's my excuse, yes. Right, quick recap. We're on part 2 today. Do you remember roughly what happened in part 1?
Yeah, his sister goes missing.
Yeah, so you got the 3 fat friends.
Yep.
Kilner, Kyle,
This is when they were at
and Sam.
Then when they were kids.
They were like 12, 14, I
Yeah.
think. What else?
The stories, the killing, the men of the woods.
Killing? Oh, yeah, the woods. So, you remember the 2 evil things in the woods?
Yeah.
So,
The
do you know what their
sound.
names? Do you know what their names are?
No.
So it was the shiny gentleman and the skinned men.
The skinned men. That was it. That's why I said men. Should we jump into it?
So sister gone missing, noise in the woods still. All adults seem to downplay it, and now we're jumping into part 2. Right, let's go. Right, just before we start, I wanted to get this out of the way. Voice acting. I'm not the best, but I'm trying. But I can't remember the voices I did last week, so I'm just gonna tone it down, and let's just see how it goes.
People will know the difference.
Well, yeah. As long as once you after a couple sentences, you associate the characters with a voice. So let's go.
Underneath the triple tree, there is a man who waits for me. And should I go or should I stay? My fate's the same either way.
Good morning.
The words faded
Oh,
back.
sorry, let me go in. Good morning.
The words faded back into the ether, and I woke with a start. Jimmy Prescott was lounging against the wall near the door, an amused yet disapproving look on his face.
Shit. Sorry, Mr. Prescott. I didn't hear you come in. You know, I worked here when I was a kid, too. I installed the bell on the door for this very reason. Didn't seem to wake you up, though.
He laughed, and I mumbled another apology, and idly straightened my stack of business cards in front of me.
Late night? Kinda. I hope you weren't out at the bonfires with all the other underage drinkers. No, sir.
Yep.
Good. Anyway, I'm just here for my lunch. I take my parmen chicken and an avocado on the rye. Yes, sir.
Happy that conversation was over, I walked over to the sandwich counter and unwound the twisty tie from the rye bread. Jimmy Prescott stepped back from the counter and idly studied the pictures on the wall. Though he'd last seen them 1,000 times before, more of the photos were of the Prescott family, taken over the last century. I'd always thought it odd decor, but then the shop was named after them after all.
Is Mira here?
Prescott asked as I wrapped up his sandwich.
She's in the back. I thought she'd still be in St. Louis. Well, when you're finished, would you mind getting her for me?
Shit.
Yes, sir.
I handed him his sandwich and went back to find Marie. She was in the office, furiously punching the keys on her accounting calculator.
Mira? Jimmy Prescott is out front. He wants to talk to you.
She turned and gave me a dubious look.
Did he say what about?
I shook my head.
Okay.
She sighed.
You can go home for the day, Sam. But are you sure?
I still had 3 hours on the clock.
He's the only customer we've had since we've opened. Don't worry. I'll pay you for the whole day, kiddo. Thanks, Mira. Good luck, I guess.
I gave her a sympathetic shrug and she patted my arm. I didn't know how she did it. Mira was perhaps the most burdened and stressed out woman in all of Drisking, but she never failed to be unbelievably kind. There was hopelessness about her, a sadness that she hid very well. I left the store out the back door so I wouldn't have to see Jimmy Prescott again. His weird, yellowed amber eyes always set me on edge. Not to mention he was a total tool. I hopped in my car and texted Kyle that I was off work. He answered immediately and told me to come meet him. I happily whipped my apron off over my head and threw the car into reverse. Crystal Lake was my favourite place in Drisking. So we know that at least 16 years old, because you have to be 16 to drive a car.
Yeah. So I knew there was a time skip. I just didn't know how long. And Sam's got a job.
So they're like teenagers.
So Sam is obviously...
I would say before 20.
Yeah.
More than 16. Before 20.
Simon now is working for the Prescott family as well.
Oh, got ya.
Because I don't think it said, but it implied he owned the cafe or the sandwich shop. Because he said, "Oh, that's why I had the bell installed."
Okay. I had to park almost a mile away since the lake was so packed. I eventually found Carl and Kimber sitting on a rock that jutted out over the beach. Kimber was sunbathing in a blue floral bikini, and Kyle was wearing his "no one can tell where my eyes are looking" sunglasses.
What'd I miss?
I asked, sitting down next to Kimber.
Not much.
She answered, stretching and sitting up.
Just more beer.
She dug into the cooler behind her and tried to hand me a blue moon.
No.
I waved it away.
Got any extrin? What the fuck is extrin?
I don't know. I'm gonna...
I'm guessing it's a painkiller or something.
No, it's
he's hungover.
It's a beer.
Extrin. It's got to be an American thing, either way.
Okay.
Oh no.
Kimber gave me her "I'm sorry" pout.
Okay then, I'll just take those sunglasses.
I held up my hand to Kyle, who looked back at it in horror.
What? No? Fuck off. Oh, come on, Kyle. Give him your sunglasses. Sam didn't get to sleep off his hangover like we did.
I smiled at Kyle and he straightened his lips. We both knew exactly what I was doing. Kimber stroked Carl's arm in encouragement.
Please?
She asked.
Fine,
He said and shoved his blue blockers at me. I put them on and sat back, turning my head to watch the girls on the beach below. Phoebe Dranger, dark-haired girl, was there lying on a towel next to Roundface and giggling. It seemed unnatural to me to see the two of them without Rude Nose. The three had been inseparable, working as fluidly together as the gears in a watch, until Christy had fallen in love with some college kid and ran away.
So why did you get out of work early anyway?
Carl asked.
Prescott came in. Ew.
Kimber squirmed.
He totally freaks me out. He's been staring at me since like 5th grade. Next time he stares at you, let me know. I'll knock him the fuck out.
Carl has always been protective over Kimber, but ever since they started dating, it's gotten 10 times more unbearable.
Yeah, so they're dating now.
I think that's really cute. You could always tell that Carl had a thing for her.
I think it's one of those things where everyone has a thing for Kimber, because it's very obvious Sam does as well.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird dynamic, 'cause it's always one of them is third wheeling.
Yeah.
Kimber winked at him.
So what did he want, Sam? He wanted to talk to Marie, probably about the sandwich shop. You mean about how no one goes in there? And the business could have closed years ago, but it won't because the Prescotts are stubborn and vain?
Carl said.
Yeah, probably. I mean, she looked pretty worried. I can count on one hand how many sandwiches I've sold in the past month. Ouch.
Kimber grimaced.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to get chewed out. I really don't like the guy.
I thought about the squirmy, yellow-eyed freak yelling at sweet little Mira, and it made my blood boil.
You should have met his dad.
Carl snorted.
He was a piece of work. His dad? Yeah, Tom Prescott.
Kimber said.
The family put him in a home a few towns over. Why is he in a home? I heard he got dementia and he was embarrassed and the family... I heard he got dementia and he was embarrassing the family in public.
Carl said.
I heard that too.
Kimber brushed her long curls off her shoulders.
I always liked Tom Prescott. It was a pretty I always liked Tom Prescott. It was a pretty shitty thing to do. Hey kids!
We all turned in unison to see Phil Saunders come stomping out of the bushes behind us with Mike Sutton following behind.
So this is where the cool people hang out, high above the kingdom on the Pride Rock. Sup, Mike?
Carl said, ignoring Phil, whom he disliked ever since Phil had briefly dated Kimber. Phil was either unaware of this uninterested or was uninterested in Carl's feelings. Of course, that may also be because Phil was stoned out of his mind most of the time, and now was no exception. They sat down next to us, and Mike offered me his pipe.
Want to hit this?
I did want to hit it, and pretty badly too. I reached up to grab it, but Phil swatted my hand away.
Careful, guys. You don't want to get the sheriff's son high, for fuck's sake.
Mike nodded knowingly and shoved the pipe back in his pocket. I scowled.
Really? Sorry, Sammy. Hell, the only reason I'm even out smoking around you is because today is my cousin's death-anniversary. I don't give a shit about anything else. Your cousin? Hannah?
Kimber asked with a sympathetic look.
Yep, 5 years since she's been gone. Too many people Too many people disappear in these woods, man.
Man? Mike said as he exhaled a cloud of smoke.
Yeah, man.
Phil nodded.
You know, sometimes when I'm high, I can see them all, and I feel like I know the answer to the mysteries, man. Like, I'm so close to solving it. It's just something I can see. Like, they're all puzzle pieces in my mind. I see the puzzles and put them together, but I can't really tell what the picture is of. You know?
I reckon he's next to be killed. I reckon.
What, Phil?
Yeah.
I think Phil's just...
Because he's saying all this stuff, people are going to clock on, people are going to worry.
I think they're just side characters. It's kind of like the girls in the first thing. They're just there to set a scene or like push a narrative, to like tell the reader a narrative.
Oh, see, I disagree. I think someone's going to take that I know all the puzzle pieces stoner seriously, and they're going to think, oh, what happens if he does know all the puzzle pieces?
But then so far, so far all we know is something isn't, from what we know is something's not taking them from the town. Someone's taking them from the tree.
From the tree.
Because they don't engrave their names and they get taken. I think that's roughly what they've been saying with Sam's sister. She and her boyfriend went to the tree. She didn't write down her name.
But her name was on there.
Oh, was her name on there?
Her name was on there.
I thought her name wasn't. Her name was on there and she was gone. I don't think so far we've heard anything about someone going missing in the town, so it's still a bit of a mystery. So I don't think someone's going to come, that some deity is going to come into town and steal a stoner.
Okay. Right, it's you. Yeah, man.
You're fucking high. Have I read that, man? You're fucking high, Saunders.
Carl said.
We all are, man. We all are. Everyone in this town is drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
Kimber raised an eyebrow at him, but said nothing.
Everyone except the dead ones. I can see what they look like before they went into the ground. Or is that the grounder? Shit, I don't know, man.
Mike said to the space in front of him.
Yeah, I see all those people. Hannah, Paige, Jason Melter. Hell, I even see your sister Walker.
Carl, who I knew had been monitoring the conversation for mention of this very thing, sprang to his feet and opened his mouth to yell at Phil.
Nah, Whitney Walker ran away to St. Louis, remember?
Mike said. I saw Carl and Kimber exchange a quick look as I tried to remain impassive from behind the blue blockers.
Is that true, man?
Phil asked, and there it was. I knew Carl and Kimber had always wondered what I thought about Whitney and if I'd ever accepted the official statement that she and Jay had ran away together. They were kind enough not to bring it up, but I knew they wanted to know what I believed and what I thought really happened. I loved them both, and I wanted to talk to them, but I just couldn't. Everyone thought that I had spent the last 7 years quietly grieving and that I put the incident behind me. At least that's what I tried to show them. The truth was, I'd never given up on Whitney. I'd waited years for Jay to show up on social media, and when I finally found him last year, I'd been devastated. I'd always hoped the official report was right and that Whitney was somewhere far away from here, alive and happy with Jay Bower. But his MySpace page showed a thriving teenager still living at home with his parents. His ex-girlfriend Whitney, the furthest thing from his mind. When I brought the evidence to my dad, he reread the pages I'd printed off and then shut the door to his office with me on the other side. I heard him crying in there for hours as I waited for him to reopen the case and bring the smack down on the Butler County Sheriff's Department. But justice had never come, and we had never mentioned Jay Bower again. For whatever reason, I never told Carl and Kimber about any of that. Maybe it was because I was worried they'd blow it off like my dad did, or maybe, far more likely, I didn't want them to know how obsessed I'd become with the Borrasca and the skinned men. And I knew as assuredly as the sun would rise tomorrow that Whitney's death had happened at there, just like all the others who'd gone to the Triple Tree. I was suddenly very aware of 4 pairs of eyes staring at me.
Yeah, it's true. She ran off with this guy Jay from our hometown.
I answered. That was enough for Kyle.
All right, guys. Seriously, he's the sheriff's kid. What do you think he's going to do if he gets caught with weed? The little man is right, Phil. Let's bounce. I don't need any trouble with the cops around here.
Mike said.
Later, Walker, Kimber, and little man.
Phil stood up, brushed off his pants, and jumped from the boulder onto the sandy beach below. He splayed sand all over a couple of freshman girls, who squealed and called him an unthoughtful ass. Phil tipped his invisible hat to them and said,
"Ladies,"
before walking off. Mike followed him down. As I watched them make their way down to the beach, I became aware of the conversation going on behind me.
"I didn't say I wanted to go. I said I had to go."
Kimber said.
"It's only 2:00 and it's Sunday." "I know, but my parents have been fighting a lot lately, and I don't want to leave my mom alone for too long. I thought she was doing better." "A little, but she's still depressed, Kyle. Do you want to stay over at my place tonight?"
Kimber's voice dropped into a whisper.
I just don't. I don't think I'm ready yet." "What? No, wait. That's not what I meant. I'd sleep on the pull-out in the basement, and you have the room."
Very awkward silence.
"My parents love you, you know,"
he added. Kimber laughed.
"I know. I just want to be there for my mom right now. But thank you, sweetie."
And then the absolutely disgusting sound of my best friends kissing. I would never get used to it.
On that note, I'm out of here.
I stood up and gave them both a shaming look.
"Oh, come on, Sam. Don't be jealous. You'll find a girlfriend someday."
Carl joked.
"I really don't need your help with that."
I muttered, glancing down the beach to where Emmeline.
Emmeline, that's a weird one.
Emmeline Adler was... Why do I know Adler? That's an important last name.
Adler, someone famous called Adler.
Oh, Emmeline Adler was sunbathing.
"Last week of school."
Kimber yelled at my retreating back. Thank God. Tomorrow was the last Monday of the school year, and while I should have been thankful and my sophomore year was ending, I wasn't. The summer meant no distractions, more time to think, and even more hours of boredom at Prescott Artisan Sandwiches. I wasn't looking forward to tomorrow for another reason. Besides it being a Monday, it was also sophomore ditch day. My dad had caught on to that several weeks ago and warned me to set a good example and go to school that day. Sometimes I really hated being the son of a cop. Kimber and Carl were sympathetic and had offered to share in my misery. I had, of course, said yes, much to Carl's sadness. And I'd expected my dad was waiting for me when I get home. We shared a brief, strained conversation about my respective days, and then he finally got to it.
Just before we go, we're pretty locked in at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so any thoughts up until now? I actually don't remember that bit when I read the story before.
So far, I think it's a lot of filler. I want to get really into the story.
It really gets, I think now with the ditch day, it really gets into it. I actually don't remember that whole, what was it, a lake
It
encounter?
just feels like we're reading a book. It doesn't feel like we're reading a Reddit story.
It's a long Reddit story, don't get me wrong, it's long. It's like a 4-hour read, but it's, and this would be our trial for longer ones, but it's it picks up a bit. It kind of, I didn't remember it dragging this long.
Yeah,
when I first read it.
I hope it gets faster paced. Because at the moment I'm reading, and it's like, oh, I just want to know more about
it gets
the actual...
faster paced. If I think I know what happens on ditch day, and that's when it starts picking up.
Okay.
I think. But let's just keep going.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, so with me. "Remember, Sammy, we're cracking down on truancy this year. I want you to go to school tomorrow." "Yeah, I got it, Dad." "And I hope I won't have to write a ticket to Kyle either."
I sighed.
"It's just a tradition. Even the teachers sort of encourage it. On Friday, they said..." "I don't care what they said. Besides the fact I'm the sheriff, I'm also your father. I want my son in school."
Oh, that's interesting.
What?
If you remember before, his dad wasn't the sheriff.
Oh, he's been
So
promoted
he's obviously
to the
got a
sheriff.
promotion.
Yeah, so he's the sheriff now.
I laughed and shook my head. What a joke.
"I can't control what Kyle does, Dad." "Fair enough, but you can control what you do."
I said nothing, and Dad sighed.
"It's almost over, Sam. Just get through these last 5 days, and you can be done with school for a few months." "Fine."
I walked out of the kitchen rudely, ending the conversation. I climbed the stairs and passed by Whitney's door on the way to my room. The light was on, and silence was behind it. I knew my mother was in there. She was always in there, doing God knows what. I walked to my own room, shut the door behind me and locked it. The next day at school ended up being even more embarrassing than anything else. There were a few other people that hadn't skipped, maybe a total of 10 of us, and the looks they shot me made it clear that my dad was the reason they were there. Kimber, great friend that she was, happily went to her classes like it was a normal day. Carl attended all of the classes with me. The teachers who had been looking forward to an easy day couldn't have cared less. Just before lunch, an officer came round to us all to check the classrooms and ask for copies of the attendance sheets. Dad really wasn't joking about cracking down this year. I was going to get shit from people all summer. At lunch, Carl and I went out to my car to smoke. Usually we were hidden by a dozen of large pickup trucks, but today we were out in the open and vulnerable. I moved the car back to a shady corner of the parking lot, and Carl pulled out his bowl.
Did you text Kimber?
I asked while he hit it.
Yeah.
He said, through tight lips as he let the smoke sit in his lungs and then blew it out all over my dashboard.
She went home about fourth period. She said her mom called her and she was going home to take care of her. I don't know, man. Doesn't her mom hate you?
I asked, taking my turn with the bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly new development ever since Kimber and I started dating, but I'm pretty sure she's always hated me and just hid it better before. Now that she's all depressed and whatever, she doesn't give a shit.
It was hard to picture anyone hating Kyle.
Why can't Kimber's dad take care of her? I don't know.
I hit the pipe again.
Hey man, let's not even go back today.
Carl said.
You think?
I asked.
Yeah, I mean, you put in 4 periods. You've been a good son. And Officer Dick-Ass already came around and collected the attendance sheets. Dick-Ass? Really? You're better than that, man. Officer Ass-Dick? You're fucking baked, Kyle. Seriously, man, let's go.
I thought about it for a second, and Carl was right. I've done my duty as a son, and if I left now, I'd have enough time to go to GameStop before work.
Fuck it.
I turned on the ignition. Cal sat up in his chair and rolled down the window to clear out the smoke.
Hey man, can you drop me by Kimber's? Sure, but how you gonna get home? Can you come get me after work? What if her mom throws you out again?
Carl rolled his eyes.
That was one time. Why can't I just drop you off at home and you can take your own car? I need new tires.
New tyres, of course. What Carl really meant was that his insurance had lapsed, and he didn't have any money for gas anyway. He bought the car last summer after working double shifts at a convenience store for half a year. It was an okay car, newer, but I knew he'd only wanted it to impress Kimber, something he vehemently denied. Had it worked? Not in my opinion. They started dating in the fall, and Carl quit his job to spend more time with her. Kimber didn't seem like the kind of girl to be impressed by Poignac Bonneville, but Carl was convinced that's how he'd won her over. I was sure all the car had really done with him was give him confidence to ask her out. And now that his part of the romance ended, the car sat in the garage of a landy home collecting dust instead of memories. GameStop didn't have what I wanted either, and neither did Drisking Games and Media. Since I had nothing else to do, I decided to show up to work early and hoped Mira would let me leave early too. I parked in front and walked in the door, unsurprised to see no one at the front counter. There was only the 3 of us that worked at the shop, and sadly, I never get to see the other girl, Emmeline. Oh, that was a girl at the beach.
Yeah.
Who worked on the days I didn't. This was disappointing to me, since she was half the reason I applied to work here in the first place. Oh, bless him, he has a crush.
Sam needs to get someone, man. This guy's on a dry streak.
He's on a dry.
Yeah, obviously everyone's giving him stick about not having a girlfriend.
And I suppose everyone shipped him with Kimber, but now Carl's got Kimber. He's wanting this Emmeline. Oh.
And she's sacked him off.
I can't help but feel sorry for him. He's trying his best.
I just can't, for some reason, I can't help but look at Kyle like he's a bitch. He's a bitch. Yeah, there's one of the voices like quite soft for him.
Yeah, I've noticed you do a soft voice.
Yeah, then Kyle's the big Chad with the baseball cap. The snapback, that's what Kyle does. Snapback, yeah.
Wife beater.
Yeah, DC's on his feet.
I went into the back to tell Mira I was there and found her slumped over her desk on a pile of receipts and paperwork. This wasn't an unusual way to find Mira, but something seemed different today. I immediately felt a disturbance in the force. But before... In the force. But before...
He's a dork. I said this. He's a dork.
It's cute. But before I could run away, she turned toward me, and I saw I was right to flee. Mira was crying.
Mira, are you okay? I'm sorry.
She said quickly, wiping her eyes.
Is it 4 already? No, it's 2:15. I just thought maybe if I came in early. Oh, right. It's your ditch day.
Mira wiped her eyes, only to have them fill with tears again.
I don't understand, Sam. This store has been operating in the red ever since I was hired to manage it. What am I doing wrong? I don't know.
I offered lamely, the instinct to escape never stronger.
No one ever comes in here. Ever. And Mr. Prescott, he refuses to let me put signs up to advertise. He says they're unsightly. But how does he expect me to pull in business? I need this job, Sam. God,
I must have looked like a frightened deer, because when Mira glanced over at me, she seemed to subtly collect herself.
Go ahead, go to the front, or do your time card.
She didn't have to tell me twice. I really liked Mira, and I hated seeing her like this. The front didn't end up being much better. I could hear Mira crying over the store's dated music track. Her sobs went from painfully audible to muffled whimpers. After half an hour, I decided to do something. Since I was entirely unequipped to deal with an adult woman's emotions, I decided to call Mira's husband Owen, and thankfully he was at home and answered on the second ring.
I'll be right there.
I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard a car pull up outside and saw the tall, girthy Owen get out of it. He walked in, a quiet lull in his wife's breakdown.
I've never heard someone describe someone as girthy, like as in the whole person. Well, that guy's girthy. Is that just fat?
You're
Is that
right.
just calling someone fat? Or is girthy broad?
Could it be wide?
Yeah,
Because he's tall and girthy. It means tall and big.
Yeah, but you don't say, oh, you got girthy shoulders. You'd say, like, broad. Or what you would just say wide.
Maybe he typed into the internet other words other than wide.
It's the whole
And that's the one that came up.
appendage situation all over
Yeah,
again.
you can't keep using wide. He walked in during a quiet lull in his wife's breakdown.
I'm sorry to call you at home, Mr. Daly. I just didn't know what else to do. That's okay, Sam. You did the right thing.
He looked tired, and I could tell the situation wasn't new to him.
Is she okay? I mean, like, will she be okay? Oh, yeah.
He nodded.
We're just going through some things. Maria said the store is going bankrupt, too.
I winced as soon as the words were out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Owen ran a hand through his hair.
That's part of it, although I don't think Jim is going to let this happen. Maria's more upset about...
He sighed.
Has Maria told you about her appointments? No? Well, we've been trying to get pregnant for years. Long, painful years. It's been goddamn important for her to have a baby, and now she blames me for her problems.
He walked around the room staring at the pictures, not really talking to me anymore.
I understand why it's important to her. I just don't understand the obsession with it, you know? Because she's the last one in her family? Because she's the last McCaskin on the planet? I mean, does she realize that our baby wouldn't be McCaskin? He'd be a Daly? I tell you, Sam, never marry a woman with a crazy father or 4 dead uncles. They develop their obsessions with lineage and... 4 dead uncles? What? Oh yeah, the famous ones. You know, the 4 brothers who died in the Drisking mines? Well, that only left her dad. And her parents were only able to conceive her, which leaves her for the last McCaskin, and hope for the family line. So of course you see that this is all my fault.
I looked at him blankly.
Rational husband.
Rational. No, but in all fairness, you don't know until you get the testing, which...
Well, that's what you said. They've been to appointments, and obviously I'm guessing that's why she was sad last time, and this time she's sad again. So obviously they maybe got appointment results in between the 2 times.
I still don't see how this has anything to do with the skinned men.
All will be revealed.
It's slightly losing me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I would say this is getting me even more.
See, I just want punchy.
So this is like the second or third time you've heard of someone not being able to have kids.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They mentioned it in the playground about someone's mother being infertile.
I looked at him blankly and sighed.
I'm sorry, kid. these aren't your problems, and they're way over your pay grade. Anyway, I'm just very stressed out these days. Our fertility issues and Marie's absolute abhorrence to our only other option, But how did they die?
I was desperate to talk about anything else, and the story of Mira's uncles interested me.
The McCaskey boys? I don't really know. They died on the mountains somewhere. Oh, well, have you heard of the Skinned Men? Skinned Men? Yeah, I don't think so. What about Borrasca?
Owen Daly squeezed his eyes shut and pushed in on his temples with his fingers.
What? What does a Borrasca have to do with anything? Owen?
Mira's voice squeaked from the doorway.
Oh, baby, are you okay? Sam called the house. I want to do it. Do you?
Owen asked dubiously.
I called him.
His eyes flicked over to me, and immediately I looked away. Another conversation I didn't want to be a part of.
Sam, why don't you take off for the day? Maria and I will handle these things. Okay.
I murmured and bolted for the door. Once I was in my car and backing away, I called Kyle.
Dude, fucking weird shit is going on in this town. What happened? I can't explain over the phone. Where are you at? I'm at Kimber's. Are you off work? Yeah, I'm coming to get you now.
By at Kimber's, Carl meant sitting on the curb in front of the house. Kicked off the property again. When I pulled up, Kimber came out and met us at the curb.
Oh, so they mean like the parents really don't like Kyle.
It's just the mum.
He's kicked out and been sat on the curb the whole time.
I wonder
I can imagine that as well. Sat on the curb, snapped back on.
Yeah. I wonder why the mum doesn't like him.
Probably because he's a douche.
Yeah, but he's like a kind of douche. He's
not.
only got eyes for Kimber, really.
Yeah, you don't know that. The guy's 16.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of hormones at 16. It's you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kyle.
She said.
She's really upset today. She wouldn't even let me leave the house to sit with you. It's okay.
He said.
Don't worry about me. I just want to make sure you and your mom are okay. We're okay. And my dad will be home soon. Text us when you get home, and we'll come get you.
I said.
I wish I could, but I'm babysitting until 7:30. Maybe after that? Sure.
Carl and Kimber hugged goodbye, and then Kimber rushed back to her house as something crashed inside.
So, what's going on?
Carl asked, taking a drink of warm Dr. Pepper sitting in my cup holder.
You're still wearing your apron, you know. Warm Dr. Pepper, by the way.
Gross.
Marie had a breakdown.
I said, peeling it off.
Really? What happened?
I told Carl the full story, giving particular attention to the four uncles.
Oh, at least they didn't make us reread the whole
story.
I
Thank
can
God.
imagine that.
That would be so long-winded.
Yeah, the McCaskies. I heard of them. Didn't know Marie was one of them, though. I thought they were all dead. Yeah, she's the last one. So, do you think the McCaskies' deaths have anything to do with other disappearances?
It had been a while since I mentioned anything about Borrasca, and Carl choked a little on his Dr. Pepper.
I don't know, man. Maybe if the disappearance started around the same time? How can we find out? Maybe the cops? Maybe there have been police reports? But what if I couldn't ask my dad?
Carl shook his head.
I don't know. What about the records? The Historical Society people, maybe? Oh, yeah.
He said, nodding.
We can try them. They're over on 2nd. They share an office with Drisking Arts and Antiques.
I made a U-turn and started back toward town.
Hey, why are we doing this?
I know the question was coming. I'd hoped to have more answers myself before I gave him one.
Just Whitney.
Was all I could say. Carl didn't ask anything more. The Historic Preservation Society of Drisking was at the back of the building, and we had to walk through the antique shop as the owner, Mr. Dranger, eyed us wearily. At the end of the short hallway, we found a small room with 2 desks pushed together. One was empty, and the other was stacked high with books and folders of loose paper. We could hear someone typing behind the stacks. I cleared my throat.
Hello?
A small woman popped up from behind the desk. I recognised her as the same woman who'd given us a lecture at 5th grade.
Hello, how can I help you boys?
she asked, walking out to greet us.
Oh yeah, I have a few questions about Driskin's history, I guess. Great, is this for the end of year report? Have a seat, boys.
She gestured to the empty chair sitting behind the other desk. I nodded at Carl and he sat down, looking uneasy.
Yeah, it's for an essay we have to write. Hey, I think you gave a lecture to us like 7 years ago at school? Oh yes. I gave that lecture. I give that lecture every year with Mr. Prescott.
She smiled.
Yeah, it was you. And the other guy too, a bald guy.
Carl said, shifting uncomfortably in the chair.
Yes, that was my fiancé, White Dowing. He passed several years ago. Oh.
Carl said.
Miss Galleon, but you can call me Catherine.
She said.
Catherine?
I tried. I hated calling adults by their first names.
We want to know about the McCaskey kids. Oh.
Catherine said, shaking her head.
A dark part of history there, but still history nonetheless. Yeah, so what did happen? And how did they die?
Carl added.
Well, they didn't die. I mean, they certainly perished in the mines, but their bodies were never actually recovered, so we don't know the answer to that. But I would think that dehydration, starvation, or exhaustion killed them, within a few days of getting lost down there. And your second question? That was 1953, I believe. And the mines closed that year? Well, actually, the mines officially closed the year after. There was a legal spat between the city and the Prescott family, who wanted to leave the mines open until the bodies were found. The city won and the mines were condemned. Wait, why did the Prescotts care? Don't you want to write this down?
Catherine asked. Carl tapped his head twice with his finger. Catherine shrugged and continued.
You imagine that, Kyle, with his snapback on.
His snapback, his wife beater. Fucking stinks of weed.
Christ. Well, the Prescotts and the McCaskey family were closely related. The Prescotts were paying teams of unemployed miners to go down to the mines and search for the bodies. The city had enough of it. The mountain was unstable and they didn't want any more deaths. The mines had been abandoned years before and were structurally unsafe. After the city banned the recovery teams from the mines, members of the Prescott family started going down there themselves. Finally, the city had enough and they had the mines collapsed. With bombs?
Carl asked.
Well, with explosions, and that was led to the incident. By the time the mines had been unprofitable for a few years, and the city was quite broke, they hired a less than reputable company to collapse the mines, and, well, they set off the explosions. They accidentally broke into the Drisking water table. The city went into debt trying to purify the water of silt and iron ore. It wasn't until 2 years later things started getting better, thanks to the Prescotts, who truly did revitalize Drisking.
Carl's phone chirped, and he pulled it out of his pocket.
It's Kimber. She wants us to come over. Okay, thanks, Miss Scoleone. Catherine. Sure, if you have any other questions, feel free to come by. We're almost always open during the day. Oh, and you can email me.
She dug into her jacket pocket and pulled out a loose business card. It was creased and had a dusty smudge on it.
Thanks. So, what do you think?
Carl asked when we got into the car.
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, why would the Prescotts give a shit if the town suffers after they refused to help him find the family and were actively working against them? Maybe they forgave and forgot.
Carl shrugged.
Does Jimmy Prescott look like a guy who would forget to you? No. And his dad's even worse. Exactly. Maybe we shouldn't. No, maybe we should. Turn here. Sorry, Kimber's still babysitting and she's over at the Amhersts.
When we pulled up, Kimber was out in the front yard with two young boys who were playing in the driveway. She was holding a sleeping baby and waving to us. We parked in the driveway and she introduced us to the two older kids, who gave us shy hellos and then ran off to continue their game. Once they'd left, we'd explained everything that happened to Kimber, while she listened and rocked the baby in her arms.
Sam is right. That doesn't make sense. But why are we even concerned about something that happened decades ago? Whitney!
Carl said, so I didn't have to. A flash of surprise crossed Kimber's face. and she walked over to put the baby down in the playpen. Then she walked back and pulled me into one of her famous, super comforting, not at all awkward hugs. When she released me, she began to pace around the driveway.
Okay, so we think Whitney somehow got involved in all of this, and you're right. If we want to figure this out, we need to start from the beginning. Phil is right. Every mystery in this town is one piece of a larger puzzle. It's all related.
She stopped and looked over at us.
We need to go to the sources if we want answers. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Carl agreed.
I know he likes to hang out at the hideaway and get drunk with ex-Sheriff Clary. No, Kyle, not Jimmy. His dad. Tom? He's so crazy they put him in a home. He's the horse's mouth, though, isn't he? Jimmy isn't likely to know half as much as his dad. But
as Carl and Kimber argued, I watched the kids chase each other around a tree in their front yard. There seemed to be something carved in the back. Words, not unlike the triple tree at Ambercott Fort. I was too far away to read what it said.
He got you, he got you.
I heard the youngest one call to his brother.
The skinned man got you. Now you have to die. Nuh-uh, Peter. I was touching the tree. No, you weren't. You're a liar. One of them got you, and now you have to meet the shiny gentleman. No, I don't. Kimber, Josh cheating.
I shuddered and turned away from them.
Where's the nut house?
I interrupted them.
Is it close? It's not a nut house. It's more like a hospice.
Kimber chided.
The rumor I've heard is that he's at Golden Elm, and that's in Cape Gradadoo.
Gradadoo.
I don't know what that word is.
I think you've got it right.
Gradadoo.
Gradadoo.
Cape Gradadoo. That's about 40 minutes away,
Carl said, and he pulled out his phone.
I'll check the visiting hours for Tuesday. Sam, do you have work tomorrow? I work every day, but I'll get out of it. I promise. Nope.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, cool. Let's plan to leave after school.
The following day dragged on like any last Tuesday of the school year. Most people talked about what they did with their ditch day, or complained about a cop showing up to their house to issue them a ticket, while sliding less than pleased looks at me. When the bell finally rang at 3:30, I grabbed my bag and booked it out to my car. Carl and Kimber were already waiting for me. The drive took longer than what we were expected when we got lost in Cape Gradadoo.
Gradadoo.
The town was bigger than Drisking, and the streets weren't laid out with any sort of planning or logic. By the time we arrived at Golden Elm, we only had 20 minutes left for visiting hours.
We're here to see Mr. Thomas Prescott?
Kimber told the nurse at the front desk, who let her do the talking since she was a disarming old-fashioned charm about her that put people in a friendly mood.
Oh, Tom? Wow, he hasn't had a visitor since Christmas, when his son came up. Sign the check-in sheet and take a visitor sticker. Your family, then? Do you know which room he's in?
The nurse arched a tin. Oh, God, that was awful. The nurse arched a thin, suspicious eyebrow.
That was a me moment then, wasn't it? I'm sorry, we don't.
Kimber apologized.
My mother has been asking me to check in for my great-uncle for a while. She's been away doing Doctors Without Borders. I should have gotten more information from her, but, she only has so many minutes to call home. Oh, of course, dear. Let me get someone in to escort you.
An orderly led us into Tom Prescott's room, which we found empty. He pointed down the hall and said he likes to read in the sunroom. We walked down the hall and found an old, thin man was sitting alone, whispering to himself. He was sitting at a table in front of backgammon board, moving chess pieces around it.
Tom Prescott?
Kimber said, smiling. He didn't look up, and I wondered if he'd heard her at all. Kimber took a deep breath to try again, but the old man suddenly slammed his fists on the table.
I'm him, goddammit. I'm Mr. Thomas Prescott. Don't call me Tom. People's kids have to have more respect. I'm sorry, sir.
Kimber said gently, as she sat down in the chair opposite.
You kids have no respect. Do you even know who I am? It's my son that's done it. That boy's mama should have whipped it out of him. He was soft, and now he's running around the town spreading his vulgarity and disrespect.
That's a good voice. I like that. I imagine him just really, crummy, dry face.
Yeah, I'm literally imagining, Old as they come.
Yeah, a bit of like roast
Roast.
on his teeth. And
He just smells awful of like dried onions.
yeah, dried onions and like palm soap or something. Just an awful mixture.
Yeah, no. Our apologies, Mr. Prescott. We never meant to be disrespectful. We greatly admire you. You're the man who built our town into what it is today. Everyone remembers that. Drisking was suffering and the town was dying, and you fixed it. We know that. I did what I had to do.
The old man grumbled.
It was my town. My town. It still is. Who are you, little girl? Do you come in here and suggest otherwise? No. That's not what I said.
Kimber changed tactics.
And as for who we are, we're Maria Caskin's kids. Do you remember McCaskin? Oh, sorry, McCaskies? Huh. So you're Ida's granddaughter. That explains why you're there.
We exchanged puzzled looks.
We're right here, Mr. Prescott.
Kimber said.
You know what I mean, young lady. They all know. They know I rescued the town. That's my town. Of course they were going to let me do anything I wanted, as long as the money kept coming in. That's why it's my town. Is the money still coming in?
Kimber tested.
Well, you're here, aren't you? They didn't like it, but they took my money. They didn't know. Not everything. They didn't, but they suspected some. And they must have been okay with it because they kept electing Clary and they kept taking the money.
Prescott picked up a pawn and ran his fingers over it as he talked.
It's just a powder, you know. So unassuming. A fine, soft powder. The powder doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know it's bad. It's the people who say it's bad. But I needed it to be done. But it needed to be done. You know that, Ida. You know we had to do it.
Kimber hooked him in.
I know we had to do it, but it's your son. Sorry. I know, we had to do it, but it's your son. I don't think he's doing it right. Well, of course he ain't.
The elderly Prescott slammed his fist on the table again, and 2 rooks tumbled to the floor.
They were mine. He took them from me. He thought he could do it better, but he took mine, and he ruined my legacy. Decades of work, and now it's all run by the powder. It's the dust of the crumpled empire. What about the skinned men?
I asked, caught up in the moment.
What are you talking about, boy?
He growled.
And the treehouse, the triple tree. What is that for? Triple tree? I didn't authorize that. We paid triple the price, but it was only for a short while. When they were slow, we certainly never charged triple. That's bad business. Where is Bor? Has my idiot boy been telling you that? Did he offer you triple for them? He's ruining my town, isn't he? God damn it. Jimmy, you get him in here, Ida. Get my boy on the phone. Tell Jimmy I want to talk to him. You tell him they're still mine, Ida. Ida, get Jimmy on the phone.
Kimber jumped up and Carl pushed her behind him as the old man rose to his feet, tall and imposing. We were backing towards the door when the orderly came in with a disapproving look on his face and shooed us out. Long after we'd made it to the lobby, we could still hear Tom Prescott yelling for his son. The ride home was quiet, and I spent it trying to fit the puzzle pieces together. The skinned men, the triple tree, the shiny gentleman, the powder. These things seemed to have been pulled blindly from the ether, random and meaningless. The veil over my eyes was thick and heavy, but I was closer to Borrasca than I'd ever been before. I could feel it all around me, but I couldn't see it. I could almost touch it, but I couldn't yet comprehend it. And I suddenly realised that Carl was pulling over off the road, and I snapped out of my contemplation. He put the car in park and turned around to look at me in the back seat.
Is this really about Whitney, Sam? Yes.
Kimber watched us with worried eyes.
Why do you think that? The cops, even your father confirmed that Whitney ran away. I don't believe them.
I said through clenched teeth.
Look, Sam, we're getting pretty deep in here, and I'm with you every step of the way. I have to know that there's a reason for us doing all this, and pulling Kimber in here, too. I have to know this is important to you, for the right reasons, and not just an obsession.
I looked out the window and realised he pulled over near the West Rim Prescott All trailhead. He was right to worry, and even more to be protective of Kimber. Carl was thinking it, and so was I. The powder. If Borrasca did involve mass amounts of drugs, did I want to involve my friends any further? This wasn't their fight. I loved these people. Could I really risk their safety for my own curiosity and vendettas? But as hard as I wish I could let go, I knew I needed them.
I have to know what really happened to Whitney.
I whispered. Carl turned back around without a word, and Kimber placed her hand on mine. I jerked my hand away and crossed my arms, and then immediately apologized. Kimber just sort of smiled in a forgiving way. Carl sighed.
Sam?
He was interrupted by a piercing ring of Kimber's phone. She scrambled for her cell to silence it, but when she saw the name on the screen, she quickly answered.
Dad? Wait, what? What do you mean? Dad? No, wait, slow down. Hello?
She took the phone away from her ear.
Something's happened to my mom, and she's at the hospital.
Tears filled Kimber's soft green eyes. Carl threw the car in gear and screeched off the parking lot. We made the 10-mile trip to the hospital in as many minutes, which was criminally fast on surface streets. Carl stopped the car at the emergency entrance, and Kimber and I ran inside. The deputy was waiting there. He refused to answer Kimber's desperate questions as he led us to the father. When the deputy swung open the door, I saw my dad standing next to Kimber's, and I braced myself for the worst. Kimber's dad took her in one direction, and my dad took me in the other. Before he said a word, I saw Kimber crumble to the floor, and on the other side of the room, I looked at my dad helplessly. He gave me a sympathetic nod and pulled me into a hug. He sat down in a corner, and I stared at my hands as he quietly explained that Mrs. DeStaro had gone grocery shopping around 1 o'clock, come home, put the grocery away, made 2 lasagnas and a meatloaf and put them in the freezer. Then she got in her car, drove to the hospital, parked in the shade, and took the stairs up 7 floors to the roof and jumped off it. She lived long enough to apologise to the EMT who found her. I watched Kimber fall apart as her mother's body slowly grew cold in the morgue 1 floor beneath us. Wow.
What do you think,
It's getting better. That I didn't expect that.
The ending was good. I don't remember the beginning dragging on that much.
I do have to say, I don't think this is supernatural. I think this is more of like a human story. Because the last story we read about the trucker was very supernatural, spooky.
I think this one with the skinned man and the shiny gentleman, you don't know. It keeps bouncing in between, like, is it feels like supernatural? Is it corruption? Is it supernatural? Is it corruption? So, but I think the ending there pushed it towards more of like, well, obviously the Prescotts.
It's a real human element to it.
The Prescotts have done something. They're operating something, and then you think as well, like, look at it from this. And I know I've read it before, but these are assumptions I feel like you can make afterwards. The Prescotts are rich.
Yes.
They obviously run the town more than like any mayor or anything like that.
Yeah.
But also, he's keeping open a failing cafe that's selling 4 sandwiches a week.
They need to clean money.
Is it cleaning money? And I think the powder does push you to drugs, but is that too obvious? It makes you think, is that powder?
Could it be like wood chipping powder? That's the only thing.
Could it be the powder that they claim's fallen into the river? Maybe it's creating a substance or something.
Could it be the powder from the mines going into the water table? Could it be literally drugs and they need to clean their money?
Well, what do you think about Kimber's mum killing herself? Because they wouldn't have said that if there wasn't a reason.
I think, as a mum, the only reason you would kill yourself is if you saw no way out. If you saw no way out, or if you thought by killing yourself you could save your kids.
So you think she knows the somehow truth?
She knows. She would have known something, or she was trying to save Kimber.
So what do you think about?
Because you think about it, you made the ultimate sacrifice. You think, I would rather...
But how would killing it... What saving Kimber from what?
I don't know. Maybe there's a limit on how many people can be in the town because of the water table thing. Or maybe they want to bring Kimber into it. And she said, no, I can't deal with it. That's why she's been so... Clearly, she's got this depression because she knew something. Yeah. And she couldn't get out of it.
She probably knows the town's dark secret.
Yeah.
What about Marie? Do you remember her? How she was crying and sobbing for days. And then her husband came over. And she was like, I've called him. We're doing it. And she was happy after that.
Something's definitely
I don't think you
there.
would pick that up yet.
I
but
think maybe it was a discussion between her and her husband where she had to make some sort of sacrifice in order to have a baby. The husband.
So you could be right about the population thing. Maybe like she's saying,
One
let's
person has
kill
to
my
go.
mum or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
One person has to go to replace the other person. That's the only thing I see. Or it could quite literally be you're either in or you're out. And if you're not out, we're going to get your family.
The only thing about that is Sam's dad. Sam lived in another city. They moved here, so they're in. It's not like they've been born into the town.
But his dad's now the sheriff, which means he's complicit in it. And I wonder if... Because Sheriff Clary is still about. They said he's not dead. They said he's still about and he drinks in that pub. So I wonder if they've pushed aside Clary because he got cold feet. Obviously, his dad is quite... He's a corrupt cop, if you remember from the beginning. That's why he moved to the town.
Yeah. I'm shocked you remember that because I didn't really twig out into my second read.
Well, it means he's not got the best of morals anyway.
Yeah.
So he's clearly quite willing to carry
And
on.
I know
doing
it's
what
his
he's doing.
daughter and he's going to be upset anyway, but he got really emotional when Sam brought up Kimber again. So does
Whitney, is it Whitney?
Whitney, yeah. So whatever's happening, was he involved with Whitney's disappearance?
Well, I wonder if he was overrode. So maybe Whitney refused and he had no decision.
Or, here's something, what if, and this isn't me knowing, what if he had to sacrifice Kimber? No, Whitney for his role as sheriff, for his promotion.
You got to think, I wonder if maybe the Prescotts proposed the idea of one of your children you've got to sacrifice in order to stay in the town to make a living.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To
and then
be successful.
Because Kimber's mum, maybe it's you or them.
You or
so
them.
Kimber's mum.
And as a mum, of course, you'd kill yourself to sacrifice for you keep your children safe.
Yeah.
And the bit that threw me off was when she said, "I'm sorry" to the EMT. See, that's not a woman that's suicidal. That's a woman pushed to the edge, quite literally.
It's weird how she went to the hospital to do it. Because it says there, doesn't it, that she got in her car, drove to the hospital, climbed to the roof and jumped off. It's
convenience, isn't it? She wanted to be found. She wanted to have it quick, over, boom.
My favourite part about that chapter, though, was the kids playing in, because that's the first time I think this whole part you really hear about the skinned man or shiny gentleman.
Just how normal
and it's like,
is.
yeah, the little kids are like, oh, hey, I'm the skinned man. I'm gonna get you. No, what was it? I'm the shiny gentleman. No, I'm the skinned man, and I'm gonna give you to the shiny gentleman.
What's funny is that all the kids seem to acknowledge it, but as soon as they get to adulthood, it's
they
never
all
talked
ignore
about.
it. It's probably because whatever the whole conspiracy of the town, all the adults know.
Well, I wonder if they're using the skinned man as a cover for whatever's going on. And they're telling these kids, obviously you don't even need to tell kids. Kids will tell other kids.
So I think
that's how it goes.
I think it's between that, or maybe there is a supernatural spin at the end.
I don't know. I'm just not seeing it.
At the beginning, it definitely is. You think the shiny gentleman's like a demon.
Well, we haven't heard the scraping.
No, you haven't heard the scrape. But it has been 7 years, and this is all based in 2 days, so it's probably still been going on through the years.
Yeah, we're only getting a snapshot.
Yeah, you haven't heard it, but
I'm enjoying it. Is part 4 the last
definitely
part?
3 and 4 is 2 more parts. Well, there's 3 parts, but I recommend we don't read 5.
Don't read 5.
Yeah, it's like 10 years later.
Oh, that's not great.
It wrapped. I think you would like it. I just didn't like it.
Okay.
Because it wraps everything up.
You know, I like things neat and tidy in a bow.
It does that. That's how I think you'll like it.
I need to have a happy ending.
So without spoiling it, the ending of 4 leaves like a few not cliffhangers, but like what ifs.
Oh, see, I think I would need to read
5 answers it all.
Oh, okay.
5 answers it all. So we could read 5, but anyone who's read the story knows, always say, don't read 5. But there's people like me that like, when I'm reading something, I'm happy with like a not happy ending. Right, so wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening if you got this far. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, and Amazon.
Are we just Married After Midnight on all
Married
of them?
After Midnight, all platforms. And make sure to give us a rating. All right, we will see you next time.
See you in the next one. Bye.